So I'm here today looking at foraging some wild herbs. I've been to this area before. It's around half an hour away from my house, and I've come to a friend's house around here, and I've seen a lot of wild herbs. They're not really wild as in indigenous herbs that are native to this area. Most likely they've come with the Europeans to the Australian land, and they've sort of taken over a little bit, and the only difference between them and the domesticated herbs is that they've actually been living in the wild, and they've been sitting outside on their own, doing their own thing without any help and assistance from people. So there's been no fluffing up of the soil, no fertilizers, no chemicals, no pesticides, nothing like that. And what I find with these herbs is that they get a little bit more bitter, the flavor is more pronounced, which tells me that the plant has worked a little bit harder to protect itself, because mostly these bitter flavors that you find in plants come from the protective compounds that they produce so that they can ward off pests. And when we spray the plants with pesticides, we kind of inhibit that mechanism within them that allows them to protect themselves. So in a way, it's sort of the difference between someone living in the wild, like a human being living in the wild having to fend for themselves, and someone living in a lush, city villa or something like that. And the difference between the two would be massive. One is the sort of has evolved in its life to survive really well within its environment and can ward off all the dangers of a natural environment, and the other one's living like a really cushy life. And the difference is massive in terms of nutrition for us with these plants. And I'm gonna go out there and try to find a few different herbs like purslane or parsley. I've also seen some wild lettuce, some dandelions, and I've seen what else? I've seen yeah, just a bunch of different things. I'll have a look around. There are some herbs that I recognize. I don't know their names. I'll see if I can find a few, and then I'll take them home and make a wild herb pie with that. So I'll show you a really easy way to get all these bitter herbs and try to make something really flavorsome out of them, and something that you can cook rather than just like a salad, which is a really like difficult way to eat a lot of these bitter herbs. So I'll keep you updated with my search today. All right, so it took me around 25 minutes or so, and I went and gathered a bunch of different wild herbs. I've got a really big bag here. I can show you. It's full of really awesome stuff. Some purslane and wild lettuce is showing. But I also have a fair bit of other stuff like dandelions and some mallow. And I've got there's a whole heap of really fantastic wild herbs here. And I'm gonna take them home and cook them. So for the time being, just hang in, and I'll show you the recipe and how you cook it. Alright, chat later. So now I'm at home, and I'm actually cooking the wild herbs that I've just foraged. I've chopped them all up, and then I've fried some garlic and onion. And from there, after the garlic and onion were fried, I started adding the herbs in small batches, like 2 handfuls at a time, and cooking them in loads of olive oil, maybe like around 3/4 cup or even a cup's worth of olive oil went into the pot. I'll show you how that looks like. But the herbs will let go of all of that water, and then they'll absorb a lot of the oil. And then you can keep the herbs aside in a plate and eat it cold, or you can sort of do what I'm gonna do, which is I'm gonna make like a paleo pie. I've got a pastry which will be in my coming book, Quirkier Cooking, and I'll show you how to make that, stuff the pastry with the herbs and then pan fry it, so you can have a pan fried pastry with lots of wild herbs inside. And it's a really good way of eating all these herbs with a squeeze of lemon on top. And or you can just eat it as is. Sorry, this is my first video, so my hands are very shaky. I'm not really used to doing it. So I'll show you how it looks like in the pot. So you can see here, a lot of olive oil. I think that's done. Actually, I'll turn it up. So yeah, that's it. That's my the wild herbs that I foraged, and a really good way to eat a lot of them without feeling like you're eating a big bitter salad. Enjoy it.